everyone. So the day has finally arrived. Game 1 of the Lakers vs. Warriors playoff series. And this is going to be an absolute great series. This is going to be a series that could end up being the series for the ages. And in all honesty, whoever wins this series could very likely be the team that represents the Western Conference and potentially win the NBA championship. Now, the Lakers are definitely going to have their hands full, and their defense is going to be put to the test against the Golden State Warriors and their high-powered offense. But I really like the Lakers' chances here. Now, a lot of experts and stuff have said that the Lakers aren't going to win this series and that the Warriors are this, that, and the other. But look, that's just what media does when it comes to the Lakers. Even our bubble here, if you remember correctly, Portland was going to beat us. Houston was going to sweep us after they won Game 1. And we didn't have the defense, even though we were the best defense in the league. We didn't have enough to stop the high-powered three-point shooting offense. And Russ and Harden were going to kill us. And then we played Denver, and Denver was going to smoke us. And then the Heat. And guess what? At the end of it all, the Lakers just kept winning. The Lakers ended up winning the NBA championship this year. You heard all the talk about Memphis. All of the, experts and reporters and stuff said that, Lakers don't stand a chance. This was a good run. And, some people even picked Memphis to sweep the Lakers. Guess what? All said and done, Lakers ended up winning. Now, Lakers won't have to deal with the defense that the Memphis Grizzlies presented. And Anthony Davis should have a monster series. The Warriors aren't going to be able to defend him the way that the Memphis Grizzlies were. See, the luxury that the Grizzlies had is they had Jaren Jackson Jr., high-powered defensive guy, shot blocker, defensive player of the year, and then they had a really strong, sturdy guy in Tillman. But beyond that, they were able to pack the paint because they had great defensive perimeter guys in Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, and, of course, Dillon Brooks. As much as we like to clown Dillon Brooks and the rest of these guys, they were really good defensively. And I even had people try to challenge me and ask me when I presented this before that said, Ja, he's not a great defender. Baines isn't a great defender. They were both 3 points better than league average. I don't know if you know how significant that is. That is a good, very good defender. So they were able to guard the perimeter and try to contain guys so that way they could double team Anthony Davis. The Warriors don't have that. Andrew Wiggins, yes, he's a great defender. Klay Thompson isn't who he once was. Jordan Poole can't guard nobody. Steph Curry isn't known to guard people. This is going to be a lot tougher for the Warriors. The Warriors present the Lakers a lot of issues, and you can never count out the Warriors. The Warriors are the Warriors for a reason. I'm not saying the Lakers are going to just walk through this series and it's going to be over in 4 and it's going to be a cakewalk. No, this will be a fight. This will be a series that either the Lakers handle swiftly and they win in like 5 or 6 games, or very likely the Warriors win in 7. I don't think the Warriors are going to beat the Lakers in 5 or 6 games. I don't. I think it goes 7. You go into Golden State. It's just one of those games. Steph Curry can have the heroics. The Warriors can shoot the lights out for one game. I think that's the fear that presents the Lakers. I think if anyone wins in 5 or 6, it's the Lakers. And diving into all of the ins and outs, because you might be wondering why. Why do I think that? Well, again, first off, defensively, Lakers are just superior. It's going to be a handful. There is multiple ways that the Lakers can defend the Golden State Warriors. Do they just let Steph go crazy and try to contain everybody else? Do they really kind of hone in and try to defend Steph as much as possible? Anthony Davis, my guess is what will end up happening on the defensive end is LeBron James and Anthony Davis will play spy in the perimeter, in the interior. They'll just kind of camp out down low, as we saw with like the Memphis series, especially with Anthony Davis, although LeBron was guarding on the perimeter a lot. But I think because of Draymond Green and because of Kevon Looney, you'll have LeBron and Anthony Davis just kind of camping out there. And then you'll have Jared Vanderbilt very likely running around and chasing Steph Curry. They'll probably, my guess, is put an Austin Reeves on Andrew Wiggins and kind of live with that matchup. because that, again, would be a tough matchup. But if you have LeBron and you have Anthony Davis as the help defender, they'll tell Reeves, like, hey, challenge him if he shoots it, but Wiggins is going to try to take you off the dribble, kind of funnel him into Anthony Davis and let him clean it up. The Lakers had a ton of success in the regular season playing that way, especially with Steph Curry, right? They had that with Steph and then Clay and Poole and all of those guys. They would kind of get them, funnel them into Anthony Davis and let Anthony Davis clean it up. Or LeBron James or whomever. And we saw LeBron and AD play spectacular defensively. I expect you to see that in this series, and maybe Austin Reeves again matching up with Andrew Wiggins and him kind of just trying to funnel him there. You put D'Lo on Clay, have him fight over screens, which, look, give D'Lo credit. He's not an elite, he's not a great defender, but he was fighting hard in that series against Memphis, and I think that he'll continue to do that against Clay, and you kind of just try to close out on Clay. Clay's struggled a bit, been rather inconsistent. If there is an issue and Clay starts getting hot, you make the adjustment and you figure it out. But I think that that's probably the route that they will take to start, because you'd rather D'Lo chasing around Clay than having D'Lo chase around Steph Curry, unless the idea is to let Curry just go get his 30, 40, 50, whatever, and try to slow down everyone else. Then you put D'Lo on Steph and kind of just have him chase Steph around. Whatever he gets is what he gets. Maybe put Vando on Clay or even Reeves on Clay, and then, which that was a great matchup, which we'll dive into in a moment. And then Vanderbilt kind of doing his best against Andrew Wiggins, trying to shut down Andrew Wiggins. But regardless, I expect LeBron to kind of play the help defender and then Anthony Davis as like the cleanup crew, right? That's very likely. And as far as Golden State, I expect that to kind of be the same defensive tactic as well, right? Have Draymond Green kind of play in that help role, and he'll just kind of spot and figure out his places, but kind of stay close to Anthony Davis for the dump down. And then Kevon Looney, they'll have Kevon match up with Anthony Davis, and I don't think they're going to double him as much, because I think the Warriors are going to have a lot of trouble with the Lakers guard play and getting into the interior. You saw how easy it was for Sacramento to do that. And the Lakers have a lot of guys that are very good at getting into the interior, pulling up for that mid-range or getting to the basket. So I think the Warriors are really going to have to worry with that. And the Lakers guard play, I think, is going to be very successful in this series. I really do, because I just don't think that Steph, Clay, Poole, those kind of guys are going to be able to stop an Austin Reeves, stop a DAngelo Russell, stop a Dennis Schroeder. They do have guys like Gary Payton II and stuff like that that can, help out DiVincenzo, but how much are those guys going to play compared to D'Lo and Austin Reeves? That's where I think the Lakers are really going to have that advantage. Another thing worth noting is travel. Lakers went from basically traveling to the East Coast to being able to walk to their road games against Golden State. I think that is huge. That is massive. Golden State has shown to be beatable. The Lakers have beaten Golden State in Golden State. That is huge. Lakers need to steal home court in one of the first two games. I really expect them to come out in game one and that be the game that they end up stealing. And I think that this is going to go very similar to the Memphis Grizzlies series. I think the Lakers steal either game one or game two. I think they win their home games, because again, the Warriors are not a very good road team. Now, I understand that they beat Sacramento in 2 games in Sacramento. Sacramento's not the Lakers. They don't have the experience. They crumbled, right? Steph was hitting some demoralizing threes, and you saw Sacramento just completely fall apart. Not just that, but also they got desperate on numerous occasions in this series, where if they just continued to play their game, they probably would have won. Even in game 7, right? The game wasn't that far out of reach, and all of a sudden you just saw Sacramento chucking up 3 after 3 after 3, but not good look threes. They were just like highly contested or just quick into shot clock rather than getting good looks. I don't think you're going to see that with the Lakers. I think you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis who understand what it takes, knows what's there. LeBron James, his IQ So defense and Anthony Davis are going to be major factors in this series for the Lakers winning. I think arguably the biggest factor is LeBron James, and not just his play. I'll dive into his play here shortly, but his knowledge of Golden State, his knowledge of an experience against them and how he matches up with them, and his experience on the basketball court in those high pressure scenarios, I think is going to be very valuable. Because when Steph inevitably starts hitting those just gut wrenching 3-point shots and just momentum sucking shots, LeBron James is going to be the voice of reason. That's like, hey, look, there's 3 minutes left. We were down 12. We came back. We tied the game. Steph did what he did. He hit a 3. We're still in this. There's 3 minutes left. We outscore them by 2 buckets. We win the game. Lock in, stay focused. Let's go. Right? Like those kind of things are the difference between the Lakers and the Sacramento Kings. And I think that that's going to be important. But as far as matchups go, Austin Reeves, if he continues to win that Klay Thompson matchup, the Warriors are doomed. And some of you might be thinking, it's Klay Thompson. Like, what are you talking about? Klay Thompson's going to dominate that. Go look at the season series. And I understand the regular season is not the same thing as the playoffs. But there are a lot of things in the regular season that you can look at that can be takeaways and things to pay attention to in the playoffs. Austin Reeves is going to have a field day. Klay Thompson had a very hard time guarding Austin Reeves, and Austin Reeves won every single one of the battles in the regular season compared to Klay Thompson. Don't believe me? Go back and look it up, okay? And that was before this iteration of Austin Reeves. This was before the takeover Austin Reeves, the getting into the interior, drawing the iron ones with the contact, playing through. This Austin Reeves is much better than even the one that played the last time, right? When we beat the Warriors and Steph's return and all that stuff, and he won that battle. Klay Thompson has struggled. He's been very inconsistent. He's not the defender he once was. Austin Reeves could be the difference in this series. If Austin Reeves continues to outplay Klay Thompson like he did in the regular season, the Lakers might win this series handedly. Like, seriously. Austin Reeves is going to be, that matchup is something to definitely keep an eye on, because here's the difference. Klay Thompson is supposed to be the second or third best player. If Austin Reeves, who is our third or fourth best player, outplays Klay Thompson, then the Warriors are doomed. Steph is an incredible talent. He's not going to beat the Lakers by himself. He's not, right? So they're going to need Klay and Wiggins and guys like that to pick it up. It's winning those marginal battles. If Austin Reeves can do a good job defending Klay Thompson and just making things difficult, you're not going to stop him, especially if he gets hot. But if you can do a good job just defending him, and then on top of that, Austin Reeves go get 15 to 20 points per game, then he wins that battle, right? Because Austin Reeves, the beauty of Austin Reeves is he'll get you 20, but he'll get you 20 on like 10 shots or 8 shots, right? Klay Thompson, he's been getting 20 on like 18 shots. So that's the difference. You might look at the box score and go, okay, Klay Thompson outplayed Austin Reeves. But if you really look at it, he didn't. And that's something that I think is going to be a factor going forward. If Austin Reeves gives you 20 on 10 shots and Klay gives you, say, 23 on 18 shots, Austin Reeves outplayed Klay Thompson. Because that means it took him less shots to get almost the same amount of points. And that means somebody else was scoring in the time that Klay was jacking up shots. That's the big difference. So look out for that to be a huge factor. Another big thing is DAngelo Russell. DAngelo Russell is very familiar with Golden State. He was on Golden State not too long ago, right? He was part of the Andrew Wiggins trade. It's what brought Andrew Wiggins to Golden State. He is very familiar with Steph, Klay, Jordan Poole, all of them. And he's played very well against Golden State and has been very impactful. And we saw Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox be able to just get whatever they want, especially in that mid-range. And that's where DAngelo Russell lives, in that mid-range. That mid-range with the Warriors is open a lot. And we have several guys that can operate and knock down in that mid-range, DAngelo Russell is one of them. DAngelo Russell is going to have to outplay the Jordan Pooles, Kuminga, and Moody, or, DiVincenzo and Poole. We need D'Lo to basically counter the other guys. So again, Reeves, I want to see Reeves outplay Klay Thompson. D'Lo be that third guy, efficiently go in and basically neutralize Poole and all of the little role guys that are going to come in, play their points, that are going to collectively give, 20 points or whatever. I want to see D'Lo in that 15 to 20 range on efficiency, but also giving, 6 to 8 assists. Again, he played very good defense in that Grizzlies series. He's not an elite defender or anything like that, but he is serviceable, and he does try, which is what you want, right? You don't want, you see the guy like Jordan Poole at times will just get blown by. He won't even try to recover. D'Lo was trying to recover. He was still sticking with his man. He was funneling guys. That's what you want from D'Lo. D'Lo needs to outplay those Jordan Poole nights. Jordan Poole has been extremely inconsistent for the Warriors, and that's kind of his game, right? He's either 30 points or he's 8 points. And I can definitely see a game where Jordan Poole basically wins or helps greatly to win a game against the Lakers. But if D'Lo can be that sort of neutralizer and outplay him throughout this series, that is going to be massive, right? So if D'Lo can consistently give you 15 to 20, then he'll outplay Jordan Poole, just because Jordan Poole will have a game where he gives you 30 and then another game where he gives you, 8, and then that will be a big battle. But we need D'Lo to be arguably the third best guy, him and Reeves. One of those two on a nightly basis are really going to have to step up, and I think that they're going to be very valuable, very important in this series, because I really think Reeves and D'Lo going to get a lot of what they want and are really going to be able to find their spots in this Golden State defense, and I think that's going to be very valuable. Again, they did it all regular season long, and the Warriors are not very good when it comes to that defense. They were bottom 10 defensively. Also, one thing worth noting is turnovers. Lakers got to win the rebound and turnover battle, definitely. Golden State led the league in turnovers with 16.2 turnovers per game. That is a lot of turnovers. You know who's number one in transition and number one in transition scoring? The Lakers. Lakers turn the Warriors over a lot. This could be a rather quick series because the Lakers love to get out in transition. They score a bunch in transition. And for people that are worried about the pace and stuff like that, again, go look up the stats in the playoffs. The Lakers might surprise you. But bench battle. Dennis Schroeder was rough in that previous series against Memphis. He was brilliant in that Minnesota series. Well, not series, but game, right? I mean, you make an argument, we won solely on him down the stretch. This is a series that he should dominate. He had a ton of success against Golden State all season long. The Warriors really struggled guarding Schroeder and D'Lo, and I really hope we see that lineup on the court, because the Warriors just didn't know what to do with that. Because it's just two very different paces, right? And it's just so hard. Schroeder's going to be very impactful on the defensive end. Him and Jared Vanderbilt are probably going to have their hands full, because those two are primarily going to guard Steph Curry. That's my guess. So with that, Dennis Schroeder is going to have his work cut out for him, but he's going to have to find some buckets. It's going to be exhausting. He's going to be tired. He's going to be chasing Steph around all day, but he's too good at getting to the basket. And the difference between the Memphis series is, again, the perimeter defense from Ja and Bane and Dylan Brooks, as well as you're running right into an elite shot blocker in Triple J, right? The Warriors don't have that. The Warriors, you're running into Kevon Looney, who you should be attacking, getting into his chest and drawing contact. Or Draymond Green, who you should be attacking, getting into his chest and drawing the contact. Those are the kind of things that we need to see from Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder is our best free throw shooter. He's got the quickness and speed to take guys off the dribble and get to the basket. Dennis Schroeder should be able to generate a lot of easy buckets throughout this game. I'm not saying he's going to score 20 a game or anything like that, but if he can just give us 10 points, a handful of assists, and play some solid defense against Steph, that's going to be massive. Rui Hachimura. This is another series that Rui should have a lot of success in. Again, the mid-range is going to be wide open. If they defend anything like we have seen in the last, this past series against Sacramento, and even in last year's playoffs, the mid-range is bread and butter if you operate correctly. Rui Hachimura, that's where he lives. That is his place of residence, that mid-range. Rui should have a lot of success in this series. And how do the Warriors guard him? Yes, they have Draymond Green. Yes, they have Andrew Wiggins. But if you have Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Rui Hachimura on the court, Wiggins is probably going to have to guard LeBron James. And Draymond Green, is he capable of guarding Rui? Yeah, sure. But he's not gonna be able to leave Anthony Davis on an island with Kevon Looney. He's gonna have to be that help defender. And so that's gonna give Rui some reasonable looks. That's gonna put the Warriors in some really tough positions. And then if they end up trying to switch Kevon Looney on Rui, I think Rui dominates that matchup. I also think Rui can take Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is a good defender, don't get me wrong, but Rui's got that size. And he's good at getting guys to his spot where he likes to get to in order to elevate and knock down the shot. So I'm really curious to see how that matchup goes. I think Rui is going to be great defensively. I think he can guard Draymond Green. He could help with Kevon Looney. He's going to be huge on the rebound battle because you got to contain Looney, right? Kevon Looney will kill you on the boards and generate a lot of second chance points if we're not paying attention and not team rebounding. Everyone's got to crash the glass. And I think Rui is going to be very helpful there. You got to box that guy out. And so I think Dennis Schroeder and Rui and the rest of our bench, whoever plays, whether it's Lonnie Walker, whether it's Malik Beasley, whether it's Troy Brown, we got to get some production and some quality points there. I think Winning Gabriel plays a bit in this series. Especially early on, I think the Lakers kind of throw guys out there and try to get them going. But I think come like closeout games and stuff, they'll tighten the rotation, right? So if Lakers have an opportunity to close out in Game 5 or Game 6, I think Darvin Ham shortens the rotation. But I think Games 1, 2, stuff like that, you see a little more depth than otherwise. And guys actually getting some shots, getting a chance. And I do think this is a series for Lonnie Walker. I think Lonnie Walker could definitely play in this series. I think it was a little tough in that Memphis series, but I think Lonnie in this series, I think could have some success. And he has had some success against the Warriors. But getting into Anthony Davis. So the Lakers arguably have the two best players in this series. Right? Steph is absolutely incredible. Heroics. Just, come on. It's Steph Curry. He is incredible. And LeBron James can do LeBron James things. Again, I think LeBron is going to be massive. We're going to touch on him in a minute. But Anthony Davis. Now look, we go as far as Anthony Davis takes us. I have said that since the beginning of the season. Right? And Anthony Davis, consistency on the offensive end was an issue in the last round. But the one thing that wasn't was defensively. Every night he brought it. Every night he was a defensive monster. Steph Curry won the Golden State Warriors the series against the Sacramento Kings because Steph was just walking to the basket. Like literally. It's not happening with Anthony Davis down low. It's not. Anthony Davis is going to shut down everything in the interior. So that's going to force the Warriors to have to pull up, shoot, mid-range shots and three-point shots, which, don't get me wrong, they're more than capable of that. Steph Curry's probably going to get his 30 a game. It's just who Steph is. Anthony Davis has to outplay Steph Curry. And that doesn't necessarily mean that Anthony Davis has to go get 40 and 15. Anthony Davis, if he gives us a stat line like Game 6, he outplayed Steph Curry. Right? Steph Curry could go get 50 And if Anthony Davis gives us a game 6 stat line, he outplayed Steph Curry. Game 6 stat line of like 16 points, 15 rebounds, 5 blocks, 3 steals. Like, because there's more to the game of basketball than just scoring. Steph Curry isn't stopping anybody defensively, but he's going to put up a ton of buckets, right? Because that's what he does. Anthony Davis in this series, because again, he's not going to have to worry about Triple J and Tillman packing him in and their perimeter defenders guarding everybody else. He's going to have to worry about Kevon Looney very likely, and then Draymond helping. The way you beat that is quick, decisive moves. Go watch game 3. I believe it was game 3 that he scored 33 points. It was game 4 he scored 33, right? Go watch that game in which he scored 33. Then watch game 6. You'll see a very different Anthony Davis in those games compared to the rest of the series. And the other games, Anthony Davis waited for the help defense to come and collapse, and then would make plays either fighting through the double team or kicking it out to other guys, right? Or he would just pull up in that mid-range. If you watch the other 2 games that I mentioned, Anthony Davis was quick, decisive, and got to his spots, got to his points. He didn't wait for the double team to come. He didn't wait for, for Tillman to come over and help Triple J. He was gone, right? And that's what he needs to do in this series. If you have Kevon Looney on you, you need to beat him off the dribble immediately. You touch the ball, do not wait for Draymond Green to come over and be a help defender. Take Kevon Looney to the hole immediately, right? Anthony Davis, we need a game 6 at least of, give us 20, 25 points, 15 rebounds, 4 or 5 blocks, like those kind of games, because his defensive impact is just as valuable, if not more, than scoring a bucket, right? So if he prevents 30 points a game from happening, and then he goes and scores another 20 plus, there's 50 points worth of production. He outplayed Steph Curry. Steph Curry isn't scoring 50 points a game. So that's what I mean by Anthony Davis has to outperform Steph Curry on a nightly basis. Doesn't mean that Anthony Davis has to go get 30 or 40 every night. He should be getting about 25 a game. He really should. He should be getting about 25 a game, 15 boards, handful of blocks, steals, all of that. That's what we need to see. We do that, Lakers will have some success. And then lastly, LeBron James. Again, as I mentioned earlier in this video, if you've made it this far, I appreciate you. But LeBron James, we win this. I wouldn't be surprised if we look back and LeBron's IQ controlled this series. We saw in the Memphis series LeBron take the clipboard, draw up a play, and the Lakers went and got a bucket. I expect a lot more of that this series. LeBron James knows the Warriors probably better than anybody else. He knows Steph better than anyone else. This series is extremely important for LeBron James. I don't think this series hurts LeBron or Steph. I really don't. I think if Lakers lose, LeBron's legacy is cemented. Doesn't matter. If Steph loses, I think Steph's legacy is cemented. But what it can do is it can elevate their legacy. LeBron goes and beats Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors and goes and leads the Lakers to another championship. I mean, good luck with the GOAT debate argument. Steph Curry, if he goes and beats the Lakers and LeBron James and goes and wins another championship, getting his 5th ring, he all of a sudden he starts moving up into that like top 7-5 range of all-time greats, right? So this can absolutely help and elevate their legacy. I don't think it's going to hurt very much. But LeBron knows what the media perception would be, what everything will be. LeBron could win this series and the Lakers could lose to Phoenix or Denver. And once that settles, nobody will care. In the offseason, all of the conversation will be about that matchup against the Warriors and the Lakers, because that's how significant and polarizing this series is going to be. And LeBron knows that. Not just that, but LeBron needs to stay into attack mode. Do not bail them out by jacking up 9 threes a game. Now, my hope is LeBron's streak is more in the positive this time, because LeBron's a 35% three-point shooter, but he's not 35%. LeBron is 16% one month and then like 45% the next month, and it just like averages out to 35%, right? That's just LeBron's three-point shooting. My hope is he got the terrible shooting out in the last series, and this Warriors series, he starts shooting the ball well. That could be huge, but I don't want him to settle. I don't want him to bail them out. Look at the Memphis series. LeBron shot 50% in that series, and he shot 16% from three on like 8-9 attempts per game. That means he was scoring at like an 80% clip against Memphis in their defense with Triple J, with Dylan Brooks, with everybody guarding him, Tillman, everybody, right? And he was still scoring. But he's gonna walk to the basket against the Warriors. He could score 50 points a game against the Warriors if he wanted to. Because they don't, like, Andrew Wiggins isn't going to stop LeBron James. He can make things difficult, so he's not stopping LeBron James. Draymond Green is his best friend. Draymond Green will let him score 50 on him. Draymond Green ain't stopping LeBron James. But no, on a serious note, like, LeBron James needs to stay aggressive, needs to stay in attack mode, and don't bail him out. I don't mind if he takes a couple threes here and there, right? But you look at game 3, when we dominated Memphis, LeBron took three points shots. That was it. 3, right? Don't bail them out with taking a bunch of threes. Take it to the basket, be aggressive, or give the ball up to your guards who should have success in this series. Don't bail Warriors. He can't do that because the Warriors' offense will score. We didn't really have to worry about Memphis and their offense. They couldn't put up enough points to beat us. Like, even if we didn't have elite defense, they probably wouldn't have outscored us this series. Lakers are going to come down to the defense. I think Lakers win game 1. You have to win game 1. You steal game 1, and you put all the pressure on the Warriors, right? Because if the Warriors lose game 2, the series is over. The Lakers aren't losing both games in LA. And that means at worst, it's 3-1. At best, you win the series in 4. So the Lakers ideally want to go in, steal game 1, set the tone early. And I believe if Lakers win game 1, I am like as confident as I'll ever be that they are beating the Warriors. If they lose game 1, that doesn't mean that they won't beat the Warriors. I just think things will get very difficult. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Warriors win the first 2 games and the Lakers win the next 2, and it's this back and forth. But the Lakers are going, again, I don't want to go to a game 7. I think this series goes exactly like Memphis. I think Lakers steal game 1 or 2. They win their 2 home games, lose in Golden State, close out in LA. I don't think the Warriors are going to beat the Lakers in LA. I don't. I could be wrong, but I said the same thing about Memphis, and I was right. Memphis were the best home team in the league, and they were terrible on the road. They were better on the road than the Warriors were, though. And so I think the same thing happens. I think the Lakers, they win and steal 1 in Golden State, win their 2 games in LA. I wouldn't be shocked, though, if the Warriors win both games in Golden State, and then the Lakers come back to LA, win those 2 games, and you have this back and forth series. I don't want that to happen, though. I'm picking the Lakers to win in 6. Don't be shocked if the things that I said, Austin Reeves outplays Clay, D'Lo has a great series, LeBron James stays aggressive, and Anthony Davis outplays Steph Curry total. If those things happen, the Lakers might win this series in 5. Seriously. So we'll see. But safe bet, Lakers in 6. Sort of optimistic bet, Lakers in 5. I know a lot of people are concerned that the Lakers' lack of consistency. I don't think they'll get that with the Warriors. I really hope the Lakers win game 1, but it's close, relatively close. My fear is that the Lakers dominate the Warriors game 1, just like they did Memphis, and game 2, the Lakers go, we're the better team, we'll win this series, and come out and lay a dud in game 2, because you can't do that. It's what happened in the Memphis series. The Lakers should have swept Memphis. If the Lakers locked in 4 straight games, they sweep Memphis. Problem was, game 2, they smacked Memphis in game 1, showed up game 2, and just were like, we're clearly the better team. Memphis, punched them in the mouth, but the Lakers were right there at the end of the game, had an opportunity to win, and failed to do so. Memphis ended up winning that game, and then Lakers showed up at home. That's what I don't want to see happen. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. I hope you liked this full, lengthy breakdown. Let me know if you did, if you made it to the end. Let me know down in the comments below.